Welcome to Raw Dog Game Reviews. This is the Raw Dog speaking. And what we're going to do is I'm going to give you my raw, off the cuff review of a game I've recently played. I give some pros, I give some cons, and that's it. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. And let's go in raw, baby.
Okay, this time we're talking about Silent Hill 2 Remake. Yeah, that was an amazing game. I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good game. So, let's get right into it. The game was good. Right into the pros and cons. I really enjoyed it. The game is amazing. The pros, oh, the game is so dark, so creepy. It's not exactly like the original, but that's also good. It's a little more built up. I would say, like, there's more going on. There's a few extra areas, there's a few extra scenes. Yeah, there's a lot more going on, and the way that obviously the over the shoulder is really good. I love that. I love these remakes. Remakes is really good. The graphics look really nice. The graphics aren't amazing, which is kind of weird because the other remakes have been really good on the graphics, but the graphics were good, and they were good enough to still be really good, and they are also on that level of not being good enough where that creepy vibe was still like really creepy, which was good because I mean, like, you want Silent Hill to be creepy. That's what it should be. So yeah, the game was just, oh, the game was good. I liked where I like one of my favorite things about the game. I want to make sure I say this. Definitely a pro. I love how when you investigate an area, I hope one of these scenes is in my video. I'm not entirely sure, but when you investigate an area that like has a hole and you need to reach inside that hole and get something, or when you go to like jump down one of the big holes in the game because you jump down some holes in the game. At both those times in the game, the character James, he puts his hand in and only puts his hand a little bit, and you need to press the button again to put his hand in further, and then press the button again to put his hand in further, and then he finally gets the item. Or when he goes to jump down the hole, he presses the button and he looks down at the hole, and like he presses the button again, he gets ready to jump in the hole, and he presses the button again, and then he jumps in the hole. It's that whole commitment. Like, the game really makes you feel like, yes, you have to commit to doing this, and it makes it so much more immersive. Because I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was in a place with like monsters and crazy creepy stuff, and bugs and all these things, and there was a hole and I had to reach my hand into it, I wouldn't just reach my hand in there. I would also go slow and be cautious and be like, oh man, what's in there? Oh man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to, but I'm doing this, and it would happen. But that's what I mean. Like, you would begrudgingly doing it, you would cautiously do it. That's the whole point. It makes it so much more immersive because it's real. This is how you would really reach your hand in there. It's how you really jump down a hole that you can't see the bottom of, but you know you have to jump into it. This is how you would do it. It's it's crazy. It really adds to that immersion feeling, and it feels really good. I really like it. Oh, I mean, I could go on and on about the pros for this game. And the voice is really good. The voices felt really good. I thought the characters looked really nice. The graphics were really nice. Now, I know people were making a lot of jokes about like how Angela didn't look pretty enough. You know what? No, she looked fine. She wasn't supposed to represent the sex crazed character anyway. Maria was the one that you find that she was from the freaking topless bar from the strip joint. Like, seriously, that she was the one that was supposed to represent the whole, oh, it's too sexy stuff. So yeah, Angela was not supposed to represent that. She wasn't supposed to be sexy. She was one of the other crazy people. Now, some of the things that were kind of bugging me, like some of the things with Laura, and how the ending works, where you like take Laura with you too. I don't remember all the endings from the original game. I don't think I got all of them, but from the when I played the original years and years and years and years ago. But the fact that like the fact that I feel like they changed some of the things, I feel like they made James more relatable, which is kind of weird because I mean, like, James isn't supposed to be relatable. At least that's from what I remember of the original. James was supposed to have actually, okay, spoilers, was to have actually killed Mary, and he did. He did. They still said that in this game, but they said it in a more liberating way. Like, she was okay with him killing her. She was sad that she had ruined his life. She was sick with a disease, and it's like, it's okay. I know I ruined your life. I know you don't want to deal with my disease anymore, and I want the pain to end. It's okay that you killed me. And it's like, it feels weird. It feels like you're trying to make it like he wasn't a bad guy. James was a bad guy. That's why he's in Silent Hill. That's why he's going through this, because Silent Hill is supposed to represent like a hellscape, and supposed to be like going to hell. So he is supposed to be a bad person. I'm pretty sure in the original she either wasn't sick or like it wasn't that bad of a sickness. Whereas he did just kill her. He didn't want to deal with it anymore. He didn't, he had gone out with other women. He wanted his life back. He just killed her. Like he wasn't a good person. There wasn't anything redeemable about it. When I think they wanted to make it more redeemable in this remake, that kind of saddens me. But I could be wrong. I don't remember everything about the original. I could definitely be wrong. So we'll come back to that. But anyway, cons. I don't honestly think there's much of a con in this game. Like the game felt really good. The only thing I would say as a con would be like the overall feeling of the game and the way that there were too many enemies. There were definitely too many enemies. The game was a little bloated, but not in a way that I disliked it. I kind of liked how they added some new areas and some filler, and I felt like I liked some of the new puzzles and things like this. I liked those things, and yeah, even when I got to the end of the game, it felt like it started to drag a little bit, but not to the point where I was angry with it. But not where I was like, oh, I want this game to end. But I did start to feel the drag of like, yeah, I thought this was already over. Like I wasn't starting to think like, why isn't this over? But I was starting to think like, wow, I thought this was already over. There's still more. Sheesh. But yeah, it wasn't a bad feeling. It was like, huh, there's still more. Gee, wow, okay. And but I kept going. But yeah, so it felt like it started to drag, but not in a bad way. But yeah, the enemies, I definitely feel like there were too many enemies and too much ammo. One of the things that I loved about the original Silent Hill that was a thing for Silent Hill was that yes, it's a lot like Resident Evil. The whole point, that's kind of the thing. They were trying to hit off the Resident Evil idea. But Silent Hill was supposed to be the creepier one. It was supposed to be more based in being creepy and being in that survival aspect of really not giving you enough ammo, making you have to use that melee, making it so that you have to make the choice to run more often because you cannot fight all these enemies. You cannot fight this guy. You don't have enough health items. You don't have any health items, and all you have is a pipe. Like you want to run because this is not a good situation for you. That's how the game originally felt to me back in the day. But this time around, the game didn't feel like that. I had over 200 bullets by the end of the game altogether. I mean, not for one item specifically. I had over 150 handgun. I had like 50 something shotgun. I had like 50 rifle ammo. It was ridiculous. I had so much ammo. I didn't know what to do with it all. I had so much ammo. It's crazy. And I had so many health items. I still had like 15 syringes when the game finished. I mean finished. Like I finished the final boss. I still had like 15 syringes and at least 5 or 6 health drinks. Like yeah, and I started out having like 20 health drinks and I just used them all. So I mean like yeah, I used a bunch of them in the final fight, but I mean if I used syringes instead, I would have probably ended up with like still over 10 syringes and closer to 15 health drinks. So yeah, I feel like they stacked you too well. I feel like you shouldn't have that many bullets and that many health drinks in a game in a Silent Hill game because there's just you're not supposed to have that. You're supposed to feel more claustrophobic, you're supposed to feel more on edge, like you really should run from more enemies, like you should not be fighting all these things, like you're not ready to fight all these things. That's Resident Evil. Resident Evil is supposed to feel like oh man, these things are terrifying. But I have my gut and I have my herbs and I'm gonna fight every single one of them and I'm gonna kill them. Like that's what Resident Evil feels like. Silent Hill's supposed to feel like oh man, I don't want to do this. I gotta run. There's too many enemies. I gotta run. I gotta run. I gotta run. And also, I was kind of sad about how you don't get Pyramid Head's sword. In the original, you got his sword. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a point where you get to carry it through a hallway in the remake. But in the original, you actually got to use it as a weapon. You kept it. It was now yours. It was now your sword because James is Pyramid Head. That's one of the endings you figure out that James actually is Pyramid Head. Pyramid Head actually is James. It's just like a reformation of his psyche. So I was kind of sad that they didn't actually let you keep the Pyramid Head sword. I was really sad about that. But anyway, the game itself was really good. I really enjoyed it. I loved the way that the darkness was used. I liked the way that the mannequins moved around. Even though there were too many of them, I liked the way that they hid and did things. Like the game did a lot of things really well and really right. It was a really good game. One of the better horror games I've played recently. Oh, I forgot one more con. I hated how the pistol was on the left button, lefty pad, and I hated how the map was on the uppy pad. I had just finished playing Alan Wake, relatively recently, so there were two horror games I played in close proximity to each other. And in Alan Wake, I always put my pistol on the up D-pad because it just made more sense. So every time I wanted to get a pistol out in Silent Hill, I kept taking the map out. Oh man, I, I'll show you my loadouts or my screens for like how many times I did things in the game. I'm pretty sure I put that up here. And yeah, I opened the map a lot of times. And some of those, maybe not half, but like some of those, maybe I would say at least like 1/4 of those is early game. I kept pressing up, trying to take out my handgun in middle of fight too. Like it was not a good thing. Oh, but yeah, I didn't like that, but that's a small thing. It's a small mechanic factor. The rest of the game felt really good. The fighting felt good. The game just was really good. I can't put too many cons on it. The pros are definitely there. It was a fun game. It was a really good horror game. A lot longer than I expected it to be. Long enough for me that I'm not going to do multiple playthroughs, so I don't have time for it. But if I had the time for it, I definitely would. I would get those, some more endings and go through some more of that because it was a really good game. Really good. So yeah, I'm going to end the review with that. I definitely highly recommend Silent Hill 2. It was a great game, great horror game. If you enjoyed the original Silent Hill 2, get it. It's great. I hope that they remake more of them. I hope that they remake Silent Hill 3. I hope they remake Silent Hill 1. Uh, don't bother making 4 because 4 was not that great. It wasn't my favorite. So I would prefer 1 or 3. But anyway, yes. Oh man, it was a great game. Really enjoyed it. So that's that.
Well, that's my raw review. If you enjoyed it, you can leave a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you here next time, back on Raw Dog Game Reviews. See you later!